Hello, everyone. This is Yoko. In this channel, I feel that information about what's happening in China often doesn't accurately reach countries other than China. Therefore, I will share information I've gathered in English. I get information from various media, so I'd appreciate your opinions in the comments about the video content. Also, English is not my native language, so I'm using an AI speaker to create the audio to convey information accurately. If you like it, please subscribe to the channel and offer your support. Now, I'd like to talk about the recent situation concerning Foxconn. First, please take a look at this chart representing Foxconn's stock price. As you can see, the stock price has recently experienced a sharp decline. The reason behind this sudden drop is discussed in this article. Recently, Chinese authorities initiated a tax investigation into a subsidiary company of Foxconn, and the Chinese Communist Party intentionally made this information public. This tax investigation is not just a routine one, it is perceived as a political pressure tactic. So, why exert political pressure at this particular time? It is related to the fact that Terry, the owner of Foxconn, announced his candidacy for the Taiwan presidential election scheduled for January next year. Terry has previously run for the same election, and his decision to run again has caused concerns. From the perspective of the Chinese Communist Party, Terry's candidacy introduces the risk of splitting votes, potentially leading to the election of a candidate unfavorable to the Communist Party. One such candidate is Li Zhang, a strong advocate for Taiwan independence. The Communist Party aims to consolidate votes against Li Zhang, and Terry's candidacy interferes with that strategy. Terry's business interests in China and his close ties with the Communist Party complicate the situation. In Taiwan, he is considered one of those who opposes Li Zhang. Therefore, people who do not want to vote for Li Zhang might support Terry instead. This further complicates the election dynamics. The Chinese Communist Party, not wanting Terry to run for president, has been contemplating strategies to prevent it. However, Terry is a strong-willed individual and, having a significant business presence in China, has intricate connections with the Communist Party. Returning to the initial topic, the Communist Party, concerned about Foxconn's operations in China, has initiated a tax investigation, which could significantly impact the company's performance. This is reminiscent of instances where other prominent figures, like Jack Ma, faced pressure and saw a decline in influence due to political pressures in China. In summary, there are concerns that if Terry proceeds with his presidential campaign, it could create a situation where Li Zhang wins, which is undesirable for the Chinese Communist Party. This has led to political maneuvers, such as the tax investigation into Foxconn, to influence the situation. The performance of Foxconn's stock in the market is, therefore, perceived as unfavorable, and investors are selling shares as a result. It's worth noting that Terry's close ties with the Communist Party in China do not guarantee favorable treatment, as his strong individual stance might not align with the priorities of the ruling government. The future focus will be on how Terry navigates this complex political and business landscape, especially considering the massive scale of Foxconn's operations in China. Foxconn is not only involved in making iPhones but also employs many people in its factories, leading to the establishment of various businesses such as catering and logistics. Additionally, Foxconn receives orders from Apple and manufactures products accordingly, making its business indirectly closely tied to American business. This is considered crucial for China. During the Cold War, when the Soviet Union and the United States were in conflict, there was a weak economic connection between the two, which escalated tension. However, in the case of the US and China, there is a relatively close relationship in terms of business. In other words, it's not just about making iPhones, there are many people working in the factories, leading to the establishment of various businesses such as catering, logistics, and others. Additionally, Company X receives orders from Apple and manufactures products accordingly, so Company X's business is indirectly closely tied to American business. This is considered crucial for China. By the way, during the Cold War when the Soviet Union and the United States were in conflict, there was a weak economic connection between the two, which escalated the tension. However, in the case of the US and China, There is a relatively close relationship in terms of business. If these two were to completely oppose each other, it would cause trouble for American companies doing business in China, so it's not something that can easily happen. Nevertheless, the future is uncertain, and from the Chinese perspective, having American companies doing business in China is a form of leverage, making it challenging to sever economic ties completely. If it were to happen, it could resemble the situation with the Soviet Union. Thus, the US also wants to keep some aspects of its business with China intact. In this context, Company X is a representative example. Terry, the owner, may think they are special in this regard. However, looking at the actions of the Jinping administration, even if there is damage to the Chinese economy, they have consistently applied pressure on companies when needed, without necessarily offering relief if a company goes under. In Jinping's mind, Taiwan is part of China, and if Taiwanese companies do not comply, it becomes a risky situation for them. Therefore, Company X might be in a precarious situation. Ultimately, it might be more likely that they decide not to participate in the presidential race, thinking, "This is dangerous." By the way, the recent pressure from the Chinese Communist Party on Company X is not just about Company X, it also sends a powerful message to all Taiwanese companies doing business in China. In other words, it conveys that if you go against the Communist Party, they will apply pressure on your business. And there are no exceptions to this message. Doing business in China for Taiwanese companies is significant, considering the economic contribution they make. Company X, which makes a substantial contribution to the Chinese economy, is still facing challenges. This suggests that even for a company of this scale, there are no exceptions to Jinping's administration actions, and they may face consequences if they go against them. This situation raises concerns, as it implies that even Taiwanese companies involved in political activities in Taiwan's elections, if not favorable to the Communist Party, might face increased pressure. The fear of potential retaliation from the Communist Party could influence not only business decisions but also political activities by Taiwanese companies in Taiwan's elections. This complex situation suggests that Terry's last chance might be risky, and it remains to be seen whether he will decide to run in the presidential race. This is the end of today's talk. See you next time.